Hi friends, today the next few minutes you will learn about MEMS and microsystems. So what is MEMS? Today I would like to tell overview of MEMS and microsystems. The first one is that what is MEMS? MEMS means micro electromechanical systems. It is an engineering system that performs an electrical and mechanical function that components in micrometers is a MEMS. So for example, if we take 1 micrometer equal to 1/10th of a human hair. So here the second important point is that available of MEMS product includes, number one is that there are two types of MEMS products are available in the market. Number one is that microsensors, number two is that micro actuators. What are the microsensor we're going to use here? So microsensor are, for example, acoustic wave, biomedical, chemical, inertia, optical pressures, radiations, thermal, etc. The second one is that if you take micro actuators, the one is valves, pumps and microfluids, electrical and optical relays and switchers and grippers, twisters and tongues, linears and rotor motors. Still we can take a few more. Those are all read, write, head in computer, hard disk or software, so storage systems also can go. And next is applicable or usage is inkjet printer heads. And some of the micro devices are going to be used here, components are going to be used here, especially in the aircrafts. That is palm top aircrafts, robots, toys, or microsurgicals, mobile communication equipments. These are all micro device components which are applicable in the real-time scenario. Second one is that how small are MEMS device? In English you can call it as a size of a rice grain. You can call it a size of a rice grain, or a smaller you can call it as. Especially when you see this one in real-time application, this is going to be used in automobile industry, especially inertia sensor or for airbag deployment systems in automobile systems, or you can call micro cars also. In micro cars you're going to use inertia sensors. What does this inertia sensors here means? Which will detect the any type of an accidents which are going to be met. Immediately it will sense the stress or any vibration which are going to be attacked to that particular car is going to be sensed, and then therefore you're going to get the airbags are going to be open. This is going to be done by using of an inertia sensors. So thirdly we like to call it as what is MEMS here? In other way, I would like to call MEMS is a pioneer technology of miniaturizations. The word miniaturization speaks about here, which is a small in size. We are going to call it as miniaturization. In the olden days, when you take it as the technologies, inevitably trends are going to be increased in the industry, and the systems development also going to be changed. And it's going to be changing into the big one into a small in size. The system initially the system is very big one. If you take a computer, for example, in the olden days the computer is very big one, which may be in this particular very big in room. But whereas when you go for today's technology, everything is going to be micro and nano. So we are at micro. The micro means what here? So we are going to take miniaturizations. The process is going to be taking place in miniaturizations. In the olden days computers, when you take in 1946, Ionic computers are very big in size. The size is very bigger. And the laptops in 1996, the laptops we have seen, and palm top computers in 2001. There are speculatory miniaturizations are going to be taking place. It's changing, the technology is going to be vastly changed. Past 50 years, or more than 50 years, we can see the vast changing is going to be done. That is of the big in size is going to be changed into small in size. Today we are all using micro 10 power minus 6. We are going to use 10 power 6. And then you can see here the miniaturization principle, I would like to call it as, and you take it as, the principle that drives in the 21st century industry technology in the market is the four important principles I like to call it as. Number one is intelligent. Number two is robust. Number three is multifunctional. Number four is low cost. So here the industry requirement is going to be taken place. Increasing of market is going to be taken place in using of intelligent, robust, multifunction and low cost. So these are the four important major miniaturization is going to be taken place in the industrial technology. Today trending technology also I like to call it as. And next one is that how can you say that it's a market demand of intelligent, robusting and small and multifunctional products. For example, if you take it as mobile phones, transceiver voice only. But whereas when you go for the latest technologies, transceiver voices, multimedia and others, like when you call it as video cameras, emails, calendars, access internet, GPS, and we're going to access with the systems, mobile to the systems. So like this way, the changing, the technology is going to be changed. How it is going to be happening? Only intelligent, robust, multifunctionality, and then therefore we can call it as a low cost itself. The people, the market is based upon the market demand, I like to call it as. So whereas when you take in here the important, which you are going to get a mass production also, I like to call it as. Nowadays engineering senses this type of miniaturizations, I like to call it as. Its dimensions are higher, its stabilities are higher when you take these miniaturization products like sensors and actuators. Let us understand here. Enabling technology for my miniaturizations. What are the enabling technologies? When you take here, the first important point is that microsystem technology. The microsystem technology speaks about here 1 micrometer to 1 mm. So all are miniaturized device. And second one is when you take it as nanotechnology, 0.1 m, 1 nm to 0.1 micrometer. So let us understand 1 micrometer equal to 10 power minus 6 meters. Approximately I would like to call it as a 1/10 of the human hair. Whereas when you go for nanotechnology, 1 nanometer equal to 10 power minus 9 meters. The span of 10 H2 atoms, like to call it as. These are all the enabling technology for miniaturizations. So number one is a microsystem technology, number two is a nanotechnology. So the next one is that when you take the revenue in the market, it's a vast revenue. It's when you see here in the year 2000 to 2006, the millions of dollars has been in the market. Next one is MEMS products. What is MEMS and microsystems? Let us understand microsystems. I have already explained very clearly. So MEMS are nothing but we can call it as microsensors, microactuators. So let us understand the component we are going to use here, sensing and or actuating element is signal transduction unit and a signal transduction unit. So let us understand here, we are going to take these microsensors and microactuators. So let us understand the first important point, MEMS as a microsensors. What is microsensors? Sensors means sensor means, in other words, I would like to call it as sensor means sensing, smelling. We can call it as smelling. So when you smell it, you're going to taste the smell. It is good smell, it is bad smell, like that you're going to taste it. So for here also, micro sensor, which is a small in size, the system is in small in size, or a device is in a small in size. What it does means, which senses the elements. What are the types of elements? I've already explained to you. The type of sensing elements are different types. One is of air, biological, chemical, or solid, different, etc. In the world, in the environment, whatever the type of elements are there, nowadays the technology has been vastly developed. We are going to sense it. So that is why we are going to take microsensor, sensing the elements, not only sensing the elements and also actuating the elements. So let us understand MEMS as a microsensor. So here we are going to give an input. The input is going to move towards the micro sensing elements, and therefore which will go to the transduction unit. And then transduction unit for the transduction unit you are going to give the power supply, and then you are going to get the output as a result. So this is the element, this is the component, micro sensing components we are going to take here. Inputs, whatever it may be, based upon the environment you can take it as. Those are all inputs. And after the input is going to be moved to the micro sensing element. What does this element? Which will sense the input, different form of an input which is going to be sensed. That form of inputs which has been sensed, which is going to move towards the transduction unit. So let us understand, what does a transduction unit does? A transduction unit does, which will convert any form of an sensing element into the electrical form, which is called it as a transduction unit. So what type of electrical form we are going to take here? Piezoelectric. So which is piezoelectric means what here? Any type of an vibrations or a stress, you take it as converts into or transfer into electrical form by using of an input supply as a power supply. We're going to get the electrical form of a signal, and then therefore you're going to see the output as an like we can take multimeters or voltage or voltmeters, or any type of an output like monitors. We can call it as, we can take any type of a monitor. So therefore you're going to get an output. So this type of a process we are going to call it as a microsensor. Microsensor means sensing the element, a different form of an element which has to be moved towards the micro sensing element, and those elements are going to be moved towards the transduction unit, and transduction unit is going to move to the output of the output. So therefore this is, we are going to call it as micro sensor. The types of sensors I told very clearly. Those are all micro pressure sensors, those are all number one, acoustic waves, pressure sensors. Okay, different type of sensor, biosensors, a different type of sense, chemical sensors, you can take it as different type of sensors you can take, and therefore you're going to get the output. Next important point is that micros actuating elements, micro actuators. What is micro actuators here? So let us understand, micro actuator is, the starting is output action is going to be moved towards the micro actuating element, and from micro actuating elements to the transduction unit, and from transduction unit to the output supply, we are going to call it as micro actuators, actuating the elements. So you need to understand here the input form we are going to get it the electrical form to electrical form. This is called, I can say precise this one and brief it as a micro actuators. The output and action is going to be more towards the micro element, actuating elements. Actuate the elements. Suppose for example you take it as motor, the best one, when it rotates in the electrical form, when it rotates, that rotation of the particular speed is going to be actuated and sensed is going to be sensed as an actuating element, and therefore which is moved towards the transduction unit, and from transduction unit you are going to go to the output action, that is an output. So this is called it as MEMS, as a micro actuator. Example I told you, we're going to take I can say it as motors, valves, pumps. Those are the best examples. Next point is that components of microsystems. What are the components you're going to take here? Let us understand the component. What type of the component you're going to take here is, one is power supply, next one is signal transduction and processing unit, and then this very important point, integration of sensor and actuators, which you are going to make into one integrated chip. We're going to call it as component of a microsystem. Sensor and actuators are the best component for microsystem. I told very clearly the first one is microsensor, second one is micro actuators, and third one is microsystems. Alright. The types of microsensors you can see in the next video. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Feel free to ask me. I'm going to clarify the doubts. Today, just know what I precise means. The one is introduction of MEMS and microsystems. Second one is that I told you, we have seen that what types of MEMS and microsystems. There are two types of MEMS and microsystems. One is I told microsensors and micro actuators. Applications also third I told you. And fourthly, I told you MEMS is also called as a pioneer technology for miniaturizations. What is miniaturization? I have explained you. The next one is that, so how the miniaturization is going to be moved. I told very clearly, that means from 1946 to 2001 and latest technology also. And the very principle of miniaturization I told you. There are four types of miniaturizations. One is intelligent, robust, multifunctional, and low cost. These are the four important major principles which will be applicable in the real-time market, and which will produce a huge amount of revenue, I like to call it. Next, I told you that MEMS products. What are the MEMS products we're going to do? MEMS as a microsystems, as an input, microsensing elements, transduction unit, and output. Next, what is a micro actuators I explained you. And next, what are the components which has been used for microsystem I explained. So if you have any doubts, you are free to call me, or you are welcome to ask me a doubt. Thank you so much.